Here we have a chamber clock for sale, or as they're usually known, lantern clocks. This one is by Humphrey Marsh of Highworth, which is in Wiltshire. Originally it had a between the plates verge escapement, as we can see here, with this inverted U-bend in this steel part here that allows the free movement of the pendulum bob. Converted very shortly after it was originally made to an anchor recoil escapement and a long pendulum. We can see here it's got an early back cock and an early pallet arbor there, so probably made by the maker just a few years after it was made, because it was a new escapement, relatively new, and it could keep much better time. We have the nicely forged original iron backplate. However, you can see that the original spikes and the hook for hanging the clock have been removed, probably because it was sat in a case or sat on a bracket. This clock is pre-numbered, which means it's quite early. It's late 17th century. Humphrey Marsh was known for dating his clocks below the chapter ring, and if the chapter ring is removed, underneath you can see the date engraved, December the 18th, 1690. Humphrey Marsh made a early wheel cutting engine, which is now in the possession of the British Museum, and most probably the wheels for this clock were cut on that wheel cutting engine. Nice early wheels, all original. You can see the shortness of the teeth, and the arbors are nicely tapered as they should be, all except for, of course, the escape wheel arbor, which is the replacement. Marsh died in 1733, but his business was continued by his widow Jane. We've not worked on this clock yet. We like to discuss various aspects of what's been altered, what's been changed, the completed finish with the prospective purchaser, because some people like the clocks looking tarnished, others like them looking as they were new, polished up with a silver dial plate, silver chapter ring and front engraved fret, so that the black shows up nicely. Nothing on this clock is falsely aged, as quite often is the case on lantern clocks for sale, where frets have been replaced and poor aging has taken place, usually to try and deceive a purchaser into believing that the whole clock was original. Further details of this clock can be seen on our website, which is www.bournemouthclocks.co.uk, and we'll be happy to answer any further questions that you might have. You can see just in the top there the spare holes where the original potencies for the original crown wheel went. But all in all, this is a good original clock and a nice example of these important horological pieces, this of course being the first type of clock made in Britain for domestic use.